Now, Rudy, let's talk about how we move a vent figure hard and soft so they look real and alive, and it helps us create the illusion of life in an inanimate object. Okay, now a complete description of how to move a vent figure so they seem alive and real is found on our tape called Manipulating Your Dummy. It's a whole 65-minute tape as part of this series on just moving a hard or soft figure so they seem real and alive. For this tape, I'm just going to bring Rudy out and hit some of the highlights for you, but I do recommend getting that tape, Manipulating Your Dummy. Me too, I'm in it and I'm the star. That's right, you are the star. Well, the first thing you want to manipulate is the puppet's mouth. That's me. And you want to move the mouth every time for every syllable. One time again for every syllable. You don't open the mouth for every word, but you do it one time for every syllable. Yes, this is how my mouth moves. You open it, and you don't have to open it all the way each time. You just want to open it one time for every syllable. The second thing you want to keep moving, of course, is the head. Either a soft puppet that's on your hand. The puppet should always be moving because if it is the illusion of life in an inanimate object, a real little boy would sit here and even though I'm talking would be constantly moving. So you want to move the head. You can turn the head towards the person, the ventriloquist. You can turn the head towards the audience, including part of the audience. So you always want to move the head, keep the head moving, and move the mouth in sync with the syllables in every word. The third thing, if your dummy or your vent figure has the moving eyes, you want to keep the eyes moving too. And as I explained in the manipulating tape, I like to move Rudy's eyes to lead his head. So if he's going to look at me, his eyes go, the head follows. He's going to look at the audience, the eyes move, the head follows. And the animation is if I let go of his lever inside his head, they go back to the center. This is called self-centering eyes. The eyes are an animation. Of course, the body, I have the head stick, and this is the pivot point right here, the ball and socket neck, it's called in a hard figure here. That is the pivot point. So I can move him all around. I can give him lots of emotion, lots of movement, because I have a lot of freedom back here behind Rudy. So he can look down, he can look up, he can look to the left, he can look to the right. This is the pivot point of his life. On a soft puppet, the pivot point is your wrist, and that's where you move the whole body of the puppet from the wrist on down or the wrist on up. Now, in a hard figure, you're going to have a choice of a lot of animations, and a lot of people spend a lot of money and get all sorts of animations. Now, animations are the extra add-ons. Now, with Rudy, the basic is the mouth and the head. On any vent figure, you're going to want the mouth to move and at least the head to move. Rudy, additionally, as I said, has the eyes. The one other animation Rudy has is he does not have winkers, he does not have wiggling ears, he does not have a raising wig or an upper mouth steer. Rudy just has the eyebrows. That's right. So Rudy can look at the kids in the audience and go, girls, woo! He can look surprised. Ah! So using the eyebrows, that can help us with lots of the emotions if the puppet's going to emote during your routine. So there's tons of animations you can get on a figure, but I would carefully list the things that you're going to use because you don't want too many levers inside the puppet that are going to get in the way of the basic movements. Now remember, the very first Charlie McCarthy that Edgar Bergen used did not even have moving eyes. He had a moving mouth, a moving head, and that's it. But Edgar was a master at making him move so he seemed alive. So don't go overboard with the animations. And on a soft figure, it's very simply, you're going to have your mouth and the movement of the body and the neck at your wrist. Some of the soft puppets have animations like blinking and moving eyes, but they're a lot more expensive to add. It's going to be ultimately up to you. Lastly, in this section on the tyke and manipulating him, I do want to encourage you to go ahead and watch Manipulating Your Dummy, the 65-minute tape with a whole bunch of clips of us teaching you exactly how you move any puppet hard or soft so they seem real and alive. Now here you go, exercise number 8. It's time to go out there, get your dummy, get him on a stand, get him on your knee on a stool and start practicing in front of a mirror. Practice different emotions. Practice always moving him, even when you're talking so he seems real alive. Practice moving those eyes before the head moves, and practice moving that mouth in synchronization with every single syllable that you say. And we'll come back and go on to lesson number 8, the last one in the 8 building blocks of successful ventriloquism. Voicing your dummy. We'll be right back. Go practice. That's right, Rudy. Go practice. Get out your puppet and practice. I think they will. I hope so.